It's been recorded that following the conclusion of G7 foreign ministers meeting in Capri, Italy between 17 to 19 April 2024, member states issued a press release on Ethiopia and the Horn. In its statement, the G7 described Somaliland as a region of Somalia, and this expression caused serious condemnation from Somaliland government and citizens. Professor Freeman is a long-serving political economy analyst, and he said the statement is fallacious.
The statement really says nothing new and nothing of substance. The State Department of the United States and the other G7 countries that issued this document are not addressing any of the real problems that are facing Africa, which is primarily poverty and economic development. And they just go through a list of comments about various parts of Africa, which are really very weak on substance. So I don't view it as any positive change in Western policy towards Africa, especially the Horn of Africa.
Ayana Feyisa, who follows the Horn political dynamics, analyzes the connotative message of the G7 press release as follows.
This statement by the G7 is mainly saying, we're not that happy with the fact that you are, free-ranging, that you are having other friends, and we cannot really make you do what we want you to do as much as we used to. And your funds are not entirely dependent, you're not entirely dependent on us for funds, which means we are not able to make political pressure upon you as much as we would like, without making a lot of noise, of course. They still have that, that footage generally in the international politics. If they are interested in making something, they will do something. But without making noise quietly, we cannot pull your levers as much as we should, because now we are making new friends, new relationships, and making decisions and showing more autonomy.
Members of the G7 have expressed their concern about the growing threats to maritime security in the Horn of Africa, where the Red Sea trade route under serious security threat from the Houthi militia in Yemen and other sea pirates. Professor Freeman has reflected to this claim as follows.
This is a long-term geopolitical problem. The Western, what's wrongly called, for me it's amusing, the rules-based international order wants to control the trade routes around the Horn of Africa. And therefore, they don't want independent nations or other nations outside the control of the rules-based order to be determining the policy in that area. And the increase in the activity of the Houthis, it directly follows the war that's going on between Israel and Palestine, where the United States is just pumped in another $26 billion into Israel. Palestinians are being murdered and killed and starved to death. The Israelis are rounding up Palestinians in the West Bank in a completely thuggish, lawless manner.
Ayana described the G7's concern over the Red Sea as a tra-la-la notion.
Let's start from, before we go to the Houthis, let's start from Al-Shabaab, right? So Hassan Sheikh would have you believe that Al-Shabaab's decline, especially within the last couple of years, comes from a chain of TV announcements and propaganda. And it just made me smirk, because that's not how Al-Shabaab works, right? It has to do with a strict contact and the closeness that Ethiopia and Somalia have, that our engagement has been a major contribution in taming down Al-Shabaab. And even on our end of the border, we have been fighting against Al-Shabaab, and we have been really eradicating its small cells all the way to the cities, including Somalia. So that is why Al-Shabaab is in the decline. And now that we are phasing out of the effort